Church intro video. Church intro video.
We're live.
With the church intro video. Church intro
I pushed
video.
my welcome message too early,
Oops.
and it just kicked it back out.
Oops. I see it.
I have to retake it.
I see it. Hello and welcome to the live.
There it is.
Yeah.
I guess it buffered it and
Sit.
then put it back in. Well, that was smart of them. Yes?
Yes. Yes. And we were
I
not.
lost your audio.
What do you mean you lost my audio? It's coming through. Lighten
What
up
happened?
green. I don't know what you did. And we are not behind. I am not. We are not behind because of vacation. We are behind because of technical difficulties with Bill's
Can you hear me?
internet. Yes.
You can hear me, but I can't hear you.
And
I can't hear you.
everyone can hear both of us. 3 minutes to figure it out.
How do you know everyone?
Because I see the levels.
It just went ding ding and then started playing noise again.
What started playing noise again?
Discord.
Well, maybe your internet is causing that many issues tonight. It is such.
One of those kind of nights, huh?
Maybe. Can you hear this?
Yeah, I heard that.
Can you hear it here?
Yeah,
No.
I heard it. I don't hear it now.
Yeah. So it's only if I'm talking can you hear
I heard
it.
that.
It's only if I'm talking. It's not enough to pick up the mic unless I put it right here.
Nope, it's not activating it.
A couple of times. There-
Right, Biggs. There's no video yet.
It should be
There.
it should be the countdown, Biggs. If you're not seeing the countdown, you should probably refresh. Should be the countdown currently. Should be. Is my internet hiccuping? Twitch. Yep, it's currently the countdown. It is the countdown. I've just checked Twitch. Biggs, if you're not seeing it, it's on your side. You need to refresh. Or something.
Twitch.tv
/ Pastor. Hello.
Yeah, I'm getting the countdown on my Twitch as well when I pull it up.
1 minute. I love
Brains on YouTube can see the countdown. What do you love?
that I don't know, man.
You don't know what you love?
No. My brain went sideways.
Raindrops on roses,
No.
whiskers on kittens.
What?
Huh?
Huh? 30 seconds. What?
You don't like raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens?
No.
Why not?
You're itchy.
But those are a few of my favorite things.
I hate that for you.
And when a dog bites or a bee stings, and I just think about them.
No. No.
No?
No. No.
Well,
4, 3, 2, and then I press this button.
Hello and welcome to season 3, episode 3770.
Nope.
Hello and
Nope.
welcome to
Nope.
season 3.
Nope.
Hello. Stop saying nope. Hello and welcome to season 3, episode 73 of the Berean Manifesto. Faith, hope, and love for the modern Christian. So tonight, before we get into our warm-up, we're just going to tell people tonight, the name of tonight's episode is The Slap Heard Round the World. And yes, we're going to talk about what it sounds like we're going to talk about, but we're also going to, tie it into something that's actually within our wheelhouse to talk about. So stick around. It should be good. Pastor Nooms and I are not going to agree on most things tonight, but that's okay.
It's okay when he's wrong.
We don't have to agree. Neither one of us has to be wrong or right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sounds like something someone who was wrong would say.
All right. All right. So how was your week this week, Pastor Nooms? I heard you went on a trip, and it was exhausting, and your hosts, they took you out to eat in places but made you pay for yourself, and there was literally nothing to do because you were staying out in the middle of nowhere.
And
That's all I heard.
And the restaurants were terrible.
What?
Okay, only some of the restaurants were terrible. Not all of them.
Which restaurants were terrible?
I'm not saying live on the internet. But I'll give you
just so people know not to go to those.
No, because it is my personal opinion, and I am a very picky eater. Only one of them made my wife so sick that she threw up. So I will not say the name of anything, but I will say I do not understand vinegar-based barbecue. To me, there are no nice words that can be used to describe that. I want
vinegar-based barbecue sauce.
Yeah. So the person,
I thought the sauce we had a nice sweetness to overthrow the vinegary.
Well, there is some sweetness to overthrow the vinegary, yes, but it's still vinegar based. And I don't enjoy vinegar-based barbecue.
This is what you want to do while you talk about your week is complain about the vinegar barbecue sauce.
I don't like vinegar barbecue sauce. It's kind of like the whole thing of beans in chili that doesn't then make it beans. But to be fair, you enjoy vinegar-based barbecue sauce, and that makes it okay. It's something
normally I don't, but that barbecue sauce was all right. So I don't know.
I will leave you to that. But that's beside the point. My week was pretty good. It was busy. We had a lot of running around, and then a lot of sitting around. Not a lot of video games, which is a very odd week for me. A lot of peopling, way too much peopling. I feel very safe back in the confines of my office on a headset. It was just way too much peopling for me. Would not recommend vacation to anyone.
That's what you were saying before you went on the vacation.
I'm aware, but I'm just reaffirming. I don't like vacations. They are rest. Rest is necessary. Going places, resting, taking time for yourself away from work, spending time with your family and friends. These are all things that are very important for most of you people. Stresses me out more than just my day-to-day. But that's okay. Still had fun, had lots of fun. Got to hang out with you guys and, more importantly, the children, because I like them way more than I like you.
That makes sense.
Um, but it was good. It was good. How was your week, Pastor Bill?
My week was amazing and disgustingly exhausting. Um, Leaving the house every day, including my one day off of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, we did.
I hate leaving the
Every
house. I
day.
absolutely hate it. I do. I hate going and doing things. Once a week is good. Twice a week is all right. 3 times a week is pushing it. 4, 5, all 6 or 7 days of the week leaving the house to go do something. That is over the line, inappropriate. But it was
And
good to see my nieces and you and my oldest friend.
yeah, Tina. Because
Tina.
you've known Zadie longer than
Yep.
you've known me. Um, that being said, that being said, it was fun though. It's
Yes.
just exhausting.
So we went around the car asking each other what was our favorite part of the week.
Uh-huh.
And my favorite part was when you and I were crammed up in this little office space,
Mm-mm.
and
Mm-mm.
trying to record a podcast
Mm-mm.
twice.
Twice. Mm-mm.
Do you want to guess what Finnick's favorite part of the whole week was?
Dinosaurs.
Nope.
No?
Nope.
Swimming?
Nope.
Okay, then I'm just confused.
All the Sprite he got to drink.
Oh, the Sprite. Wow. Wow. That makes me feel all kinds of special. I mean, I would have even taken material possessions over.
Right?
No, but the Sprite.
The Sprite. He got to drink so much Sprite this week. That was his
I
favorite part.
I do have to say that's probably the worst part for me overall. Is
Oh man, eating out so often.
it's just we don't, and I know you guys don't,
I
and it.
I prefer, man. My body works best if I have a big salad once a day. I try to do it at lunch every day, And man,
You didn't eat a salad
I think
once.
I don't think I did. Well, I think I did one. One day I had
I
a
don't.
salad for lunch, and the rest of the week,
Well, I'm saying out. You didn't, not once.
no,
Did
out.
you?
No, I didn't have a salad when we went out. No.
Uh-uh.
But all those days, trying to get 40 hours in and finish my days early, and so we could go hang out and da da da. I never took time to just cook a chicken breast and make a salad. Like it is my go-to lunch. That makes my body feel right for the rest of the day. Because I was trying to cut time and be on the clock as much as possible to get 40 hours and then also get enough time for family time with you guys. So yeah, so the week was rushed and intense.
It was. It really was, and I'm tired. We got home at about 5 a.m. And then we went to bed. Um, one of the girls got up at 8. One of the girls got up at noon. I Zadie rolled over, looks at me and goes, I said, "You should get out of bed. It's time. We shouldn't lollygag throughout the day. You should go ahead and get up and shower, and then I'll get up and shower." And then she gets up. No, I didn't say that. I said, "You shouldn't lollygag. You need to get up and shower." And then she gets up and she's out of the shower and she's like, "Okay, now you go shower." And I said, "I didn't say I was getting up.
I didn't say I was good enough. I said you shouldn't lollygag all day.
You shouldn't lollygag and you should get up." And you can imagine how that went over. There was lots of, "Oh my gosh, you're so bad. You're so mean to me," which is valid because obviously. And then I finally got up and we went and had lunch dinner at like 3 o'clock. Um, to and then um, came home, and then I sat down here, and I plan on sitting here forever. Yes, Zadie is correct. I did not get up for 2.5 hours after I said that.
All right, so that was our weeks.
Yep.
It is now time for getting to know the pastors and Pastor Nooms. It is your turn to pull a card.
No, it's not.
Yeah, we did my card last week.
Last week was my turn, and I didn't have my cards with me.
But I pulled my card last week.
But that doesn't.
So
that's
you
not how
get
it
to
works.
pull a card this week.
But that's not how it works.
And then you called audibles for like 3 episodes in a row.
It was only 2.
So our system's all off.
It's only 2.
You get to pull a card this week.
It was only 2 times. Let's be clear. I'm working on it. I didn't plan on it because I thought you were going to. So dumb. If you could see the front page of a national newspaper dated 1/1/2100, what do you imagine that the main headline might say? Happy New Year's 20. That's stupid. All right, try again. I mean, the first news.
I don't know what it would say.
Yeah.
I don't currently read Mandarin.
If you could create a memorial to yourself in a city park, what would the memorial be?
That sounds dangerous.
What would the memorial be if you could create one for yourself?
I don't know.
Come on.
I'd have to put some serious thought into that. It's a memorial, man. Niggas would put a bench.
A bench to rest on.
What would you put, Nooms?
You are so old, Biggs. You're like 97. I would put this.
Your desk?
Yes. Yes. And me in a chair, and the children could spin the chair and run around it. No, I mean, that's the only thing I could think of to answer the question. But, yeah. I don't really know. I don't have anything I would want memorialized. Like you
would use it if you ever went to a park.
I went to a park several times this last week. I'll have you know, sir. No one saw that.
Those of you that are just listening to the podcast, Pastor Nooms freaked out as his chair leaned back further than he expected.
And for
We've all had that moment.
For those of you, no, we didn't go to the zoo, Biggs. I actually went to like four separate parks, and I actually did something at 3 of them.
We almost went to one park that you just straight up rejected because
there were
so many people.
So we pull in.
Oh my gosh, I've never seen that many people at that park.
We pull in. No, we went to 4. We played at 3. I'm right. I'm just saying. One of them I sat the whole time. The other 2 I actually played with the kids.
So you went to one park with the blood sauce.
And got my head burned and my arms because we were outside for a full 45 minutes.
Park in Decatur, park in Denton.
That's 3 parks, and then the 4th park is the one that we rejected
because we drove through
the parking lot. I got out of the car. No, I didn't. I called you. So we go to pull in, and because there's so many of us, there's 10 of us, so we had 2 cars, and Bill pulls in first, and he starts to pull through it, and I'm in the car behind, and I have Zadie, Gerg, and Rain in the car. And it starts with Gerg. There are so many people in this park.
There was 2 baseball games running. 2 Little League
And
baseball games running.
then Zadie goes, I'm glad someone said it because I was about to say it. And then Rain goes, I don't wanna.
We also went to the one by the golf course.
That was the third. At night.
No. No, we went to the one by the golf course during the day.
Oh, I went to 4 parks, y'all. This is a momentous
4
week.
parks and drove by the 5th.
That's a momentous week, homies.
Yep.
But, and so I called Bill and I was like, we can't go here. There's too many peoples. And he's like, what? I was like, there's too many peoples. Find a new park. We're not stopping at this one. So then we pull out, go to the next one.
It's like, we can go to the creepy one across town if you want. That's fine.
That's fine. We're not going to this one. There's too many peoples here. And then the one
this other part, it's got 2 baseball fields and the lights are on, but there's nobody there.
And we walked so much at that other park because my Pokemon Go told me I had to walk a kilometer.
Oh,
So-
the one by the by the golf course?
Yeah. So me and Gerg went on a walk because my Pokemon told me I had to. So I did.
All right.
But it was good. It was good. We both had good weeks. I worked a lot less than you did, which is crazy because that never happens.
That was really weird.
I've never sat around and waited for you to finish working before. That was like the weirdest thing I've ever done. I was like, is this how he feels every day? This sucks. So, yes, that is all I have. 30-second buffer. 30-second buffer.
No.
Oh, okay.
All right,
Sorry.
So, just for the history buff, we're gonna acknowledge it.
History.
Are you familiar
buffs.
with the shot heard round the world?
The Revolutionary War?
Right, the event that started off the Revolutionary War of U.S.
Right, and it wasn't actually
Right.
heard everywhere.
No, but the effects were felt.
Everywhere, yes.
But the phrase was the shot heard round the world, and that's I played off of that title.
Really?
To get the title of tonight's episode. So, for history buffs, I just wanted to acknowledge that yes, I did do that. I did reference when the event that officially started the, well, people say it was the shot that started the American Revolutionary War, where we claimed our independence from Britain, and that if it hadn't have happened, we never would have. And nobody's still completely sure if the shot was shot by an American or a British soldier. But the ensuing volley was considered a tragedy on both
Yes.
sides, and a lot of fighting and killing changed after that, or went on after that, and so.
And
I
you
was
are
playing
correct.
off of that.
Warfare did change after that. I mean, you are correct in
Right.
that statement.
And so I just wanted to acknowledge that, yes, that is a slight nod to history for the history buffs out there, because I hate it when people use phrases in like shows and stuff, and then you clearly know that they have no idea where it came from. They're just using it because people use it. Personally, that bothers me.
Yeah, I will agree. That's one of those where it's like, do you know what that even means?
Yeah.
Um,
But that's why I really enjoy the credit scene at the beginning of Boondock Saints 2, where he says, "Now the rule of thumb is," and she goes, "Rule of thumb," or is that in 1?
that's in 1.
In 1, okay.
Yeah.
Do you know where rule of thumb comes from?
We can't do much damage with that, can you? Maybe it should have been rule of the wrist.
Maybe you should have rule of wrist.
But we don't condone
Sorry, I can't get my
violence.
voice quite as deep as she does.
We don't condone
So-
violence in that manner towards anyone. To be fair.
All right. So the slap heard around the world. So if you've been living under a rock the last week and you don't have social media and you don't own a TV and you don't have a town crier and you don't get mail, then the Oscars were last week.
I love how you're going to say everyone knows about this, and then you don't know where it happened. I'm just throwing that out there that is awesome.
It was the Oscars, right?
It was.
Are the Oscars the same thing as the Academy Awards?
No, I don't know. I don't do pop culture.
I don't either. So, Chris Rock is the presenter. He's a comedian. You know, there was a show called Everybody Hates Chris, so it talked about his life growing up. And he's up there and he's just doing his jokes.
No, they are different.
He makes a joke about G.I. Jane 2 and looking forward to seeing Jada Pinkett Smith in G.I. Jane 2. The joke being that Demi Moore, that was in G.I. Jane 1, right?
Yes.
Shaves her head as part of the military situations in the show. And Jada Pinkett Smith has recently been shaving her head. Except the real problem there is that she's been shaving her head because of a medical condition where your hair falls out.
Yes.
Alopecia. And she's been shaving her head because of that. And so it made it this very, very, very inappropriate joke. And at first, they cut to the audience laughing, and Will Smith is laughing because, yeah, that's a funny joke at face value. And then we see Jada sitting there, and she straightens up, and she gives Chris Rock that look, and then she gives that look at Will. And the next thing we know, Will Smith is getting up onto stage and going over to Chris and goes to punch him, but it looks like he pulls the punch halfway through and ends it in a slap.
And then Chris says that he did get punched. So
I said he punched the crap out of him. So that happened.
It did.
And then Will goes back to his seat, and Chris is like, "I just got the crap punched out of me by Will Smith," and Will Smith yells, "Keep my wife's name out your expletive deleted mouth." And
I don't think that's what he said.
Chris Rock replies, "It was just a joke, man." And Will Smith repeats, "Keep my wife's name out of your expletive deleted mouth." And Chris Rock says, "Oh, fine, man, I will." It was the F word. He used the F bomb.
Yes, I know. I'm just
He yelled it, right?
Loud.
Okay. So what we're talking about tonight, what we're preaching here is, when is it appropriate to stand up for what you believe in and slap somebody or punch somebody or take not crazy physical violence, but yeah, some physical response? When is it appropriate? When is it not appropriate? All right. So I'm going to give an example that we both agree on as being inappropriate.
Oh, inappropriate. Okay.
Right? Okay. So we're going to turn to John chapter 18, verse 10.
Okay.
John 18, verse 10. All right. And it says, well, it's right. Then Simon Peter, who had a sword, drew it, struck the high priest's servant, and cut off his right ear. The servant's name was Malchus. And then verse 11, at that Jesus said to Peter, "Put your sword away. Am I not to drink the cup the Father has given me?" And then, Jesus picks up the ear and puts it back on the guy. This is an example when it's inappropriate. And the reason it's clearly inappropriate is because then Jesus literally says, "Hey, dude, that was inappropriate. This is supposed to happen." Mm-hmm. He did something clearly against the will of God, and that deems it to be inappropriate, right? And then you've got an example that is clearly appropriate. And you said that was in John 5
Uh,
when we were talking earlier?
it's either 3 or 5:18. Let me look. I have it open. No, I don't. Somehow I closed it. Um,
Well,
John.
it's not 3:18.
No, I'm just.
It's not 5:18 either.
It's not. Um,
So it's the situation where the market brokers are in the temple and they're selling sacrifices and they're giving out loans.
2:15.
2:15.
So nowhere close to what I said.
John 2:15 is good. 15. So they're in there and they're basically taking advantage of people, charging them interest on loans to buy sacrifices, to sacrifice to the Lord, when the whole point of this event where they're sacrificing is bring what you can,
Mm-hmm.
which was where the idea of the word tithe came from. Tithe was originally what you can carry on your shoulders. And that is the idea of it isn't a burden for you to give it. You can easily carry that burden. You can easily carry it. And so the original idea of the tithe was it's a small showing of sacrifice to acknowledge I am lesser, you are greater. This is my sacrifice. So to go and to borrow money to then buy a sacrifice when you didn't have money for that sacrifice is highly inappropriate for you, and for the person that's offering you the loan it is incredibly inappropriate.
Mm-hmm.
And then for one Jew to charge another Jew interest, which is usury, is point blank breaking religious law and civil law in the Jewish society. So Jesus in John chapter 2 verse 15, after making a whip of cords, and other versions say grass, reeds, he drove everyone out of the temple with their sheep and oxen. He also poured out the money changers' coins and overturned the tables. He told those who were selling doves, "Get these things out of here. Stop turning my father's house into a marketplace." Well, we both agree, Pastor Nims and I, that that was an appropriate action. Number one, and the most compelling, and really as far as you need to look, is Jesus did it. Which qualifies it as appropriate right away. We don't have to twiddle our thumbs and guess and wonder, was that an appropriate action Jesus took there? Because I think maybe he could have done that better. No, Jesus did it. It was the appropriate action. Because he was the master of the appropriate. He just was. Right? And it didn't matter if society thought it was appropriate. It didn't matter if religious people thought it was appropriate. It didn't matter if the laws of sin and death as given by Moses thought it was appropriate. If Jesus did it, then it was appropriate. And if Jesus did do anything that was inappropriate, like not sin, but like, not exactly right at the same time, they just wouldn't have put it in to the gospel records. They just wouldn't have added it. They would have been like, yeah, that wasn't his finest hour. It wasn't like sin or anything. He could have done that better. They wouldn't have put that in there. Right?
I would think.
Yeah.
From my point of view, if there was a chance that it wasn't appropriate, they would have left it out because it kind of invalidates some thought processes if they left it in. Now, I will say there are some scholars that say that there was no violence. He did it in a threatening manner and only violence against the animals, not against the people. but um, in a lot of cultures, the threat of violence is the same as violence, and so
Yeah.
you know, um, you're really at that point. Uh, uh, you're arguing semantics that are even deeper than semantics I like to argue, which is pretty deep.
But well, even in Jesus culture though, it was borderline for their culture. Even Jesus, repeats the man who yells Raka and calls his brother a fool, and strikes his brother, is doomed to hellfire. Even Jesus quotes that, you know, Raka meaning you fool.
Which he didn't call them
Um,
fools, so I mean,
well, he got pretty close.
he got close, but he didn't. I mean,
He got
semantics.
real close to that line.
Sometimes semantics are everything.
Yeah.
But
That's what I was saying. It's real, even for their culture. It was real close.
the the aspect of we when we look at certain events, there are valid. Oh, I said valid. Um,
You said valid.
applications to things like that, where it's like, okay, this is appropriate. Scholars have used terms like righteous anger, um, anger from the Holy Spirit, the whole blah blah blah. There's lots of terms that have been thrown around for it over the years, but there definitely is a time and place for at least the threat of violence, and sometimes straight on to violence.
All right. So now we can talk about
Now,
the one
I
that
will say, I will
I
say,
think is appropriate
so,
and you think is
but
inappropriate.
but before that, you haven't said what you feel about the actual event that we
Will
started
Smith and
talking
Chris
about.
Rock?
Right? Was it appropriate?
In my opinion, yes.
Yeah.
He defended his spouse's honor, and not even like, I mean, there's been talks of like toxic masculinity, blah blah blah. I don't care if it's two women that are in a relationship, two men that are in a relationship. The man stands up for the woman, or the woman stands up for the man. You should be defending your spouse. Now, proactively defending your spouse, storming a stage, and punching the comedian on stage, hey man, all of that was that was definitely extra. But I believe he remained in character for himself and defended the honor of his spouse. So in my opinion, this was an appropriate reaction. Now, should he have spent the night in jail for assaulting another human being? Probably. And he probably would have, with happily taken the consequences
Well,
for
he
his
did.
action.
He did resign from the academy over it, and is possibly blacklisted from the Oscars because of it. Um, So there are definitely consequences.
Yeah.
So personally,
Appropriate actions don't always mean no consequence.
oh, of course, of course. Personally, I so for me, my views are interesting sometimes, as everyone who knows me knows. Um, I view it as justifiable but inappropriate. Um, would the same thing happen if I was in the same situation? Probably, yes. Have I gotten into fights over less? Yes. Um, but appropriate? I don't think so. Um, just because catch him in the alley, like not in public. Like,
Ooh.
it's not like It's not
Try
appropriate.
Jesus, don't try me.
Not on camera in front of everybody. Like, just saying. Like, Anyway,
Okay, so I was talking to Gerg,
mhm.
and I hold a viewpoint that racism and unfounded hatred stem from being threatened. You feel threatened, right? That's my viewpoint.
Okay.
So from my viewpoint, the KKK solely exists because these people feel threatened and feel like they need to protect themselves. I also believe they're wrong, that it's inappropriate, that there shouldn't be a KKK, that they shouldn't be doing the things that they do. And so I made a joke to Gerg earlier this week that maybe Will Smith just felt like, as the least threatening black man in Hollywood, he needed to make a change. Because even Klan members are like, man, I really like that Will Smith, right before they're putting on their hood and going to rallies. Because think about it. He is and we all understand this dynamic of being the least threatening black man because we see it play out in movies, we see it play out in music, we see it play out everywhere, that if you're a black man and you have this hard, mean, savage persona, then you don't get airtime. You don't get movie time. You don't get lines. You don't get positions. You don't get, you know what I mean? We have this systemic thing in our culture where it's not okay to be hard and black. You can be a hard, scary white man and get all the jobs, all the entertainment jobs. But if you're threatening as a black man, then you don't get those jobs. And so there's been a lot of this culture and counterculture thing where a lot of struggle to get human beings that deserve, that are great entertainers, positions like Chris Rock just had hosting the Oscars, to get them into positions where they lead TV shows like Will Smith has, and on and on and on. So anyway, that was the joke. And yeah. So, are we ready to talk about the thing that
Yeah,
the
definitely.
story we both love,
Love the story.
but see in different ways?
Yes.
All right. So there was an assembly of bishops, and we've talked about this before, so this is nothing new for people who have been following for a long time. But
No.
there was an assembly of bishops, and amongst these bishops were Arian of Egypt and Saint Nicholas of Myra. And well, he wasn't a saint yet, so it'd be Bishop Nicholas of Myra.
Mm-hmm.
And
a bunch of other people.
And well, yeah, a bunch of other bishops. It was a whole thing. And also the emperor of the Roman emperor was there. Because that was the thing. It was his thing. He called them together. And the main topic that they were trying to cover was, is God a Trinitarian being? And if so, is Jesus a part of that Godhead? Has he always been a part of that Godhead? Or was he created, lived a normal human life, and then became part of the Godhead?
Mm-hmm.
So most of the bishops, including Nicholas, held the position that is informed by John 1:1, that Jesus existed from the beginning of time, before the beginning of time, was there for creation, that all of creation was created through him, and that then he gave up divinity, became a human being, lived a human life, and then went back to his position of authority, having still been God the whole time, because God without divinity is still God, just not in the position of divine. Well, Arian held the viewpoint that Jesus was a created being like the angels, was born, and when he was elevated to the point of godhood, that's the point where he became part of the Godhead. And all of the stuff about he was there in the beginning was all allegory and just picture idea of, well, God had the intention of one day, and that's what John meant. Well, Nicholas had about enough as he could stand of Arian's lip, so he got up and crossed the room and struck the man in the face. A slap. He slapped him. And
Hard.
performing an act hard enough. Performing an act of violence in the presence of the emperor is a death sentence. That there's only one sentence for that crime. It's death.
Mm-hmm.
And so the guards arrested Nicholas and took him to jail, where he had, from his accounting, some very interesting spiritual experiences. And reportedly, when they came and got him in the morning, his clothing had changed from his normal colors to, which were green and white, to now he was wearing all white. And the emperor decided to, what's the word?
Spare?
Spare.
No, you're thinking of when you
the
remove
president does it
when you
sometimes.
remove the crime.
Yeah.
It's not expulsion of the crime. Pardon.
Pardon.
Good job, Bat Brains. Pardon. Yes.
And not, I mean, mainly because the bishops kept talking, and there was an overwhelming decision that Arian was wrong, and that the side that Nicholas took was right. And so it would have been inappropriate to put a man to death for standing up for his religious belief that Jesus is, was, and always has been God.
Well, and
I believe...
Go ahead.
I believe it was completely appropriate. Consequences? Sure. Consequences that Nicholas was prepared to face? Absolutely. But I believe that situation is appropriate. When someone is literally spouting heresy that Paul identifies as you being a son of the devil and trying to get others to follow along to another gospel, I think slap is appropriate enough.
Now, see,
your viewpoint.
In my viewpoint, two things. One, I think the emperor actually got a little scared, because if reportedly, and your guards agree that you put a dude wearing green into a cell, and then the dude comes out with white, that's one of those Nebuchadnezzar situations also where you're like, I'm not touching him. Whatever he's doing is correct.
How many men did we throw in the fire?
Yeah. Whatever he's doing is right. Everyone else is wrong. I don't care. I don't care if everyone voted he was wrong. He's now right because somebody changed his clothes. And I think there was part of that fear aspect.
Wait a second. Didn't we throw Daniel in that lion's den? I see Daniel and some hungry lions, and they ain't eating him.
Yeah.
All right, that's it.
Yeah.
The God Daniel serves, I'm going to say it again. The God Daniel serves, that's our God.
Yeah, that's how I feel about from the Emperor side. Is that aspect of he was like, I ain't killing him. I killed him. The last emperor who went against a bunch of people, he killed literal God. I'm not. No, I'm not.
He killed literal God.
I'm not playing this game because we just decided he killed literal God, and I'm not gonna be.
I'm dead. You just killed me.
So
you straight up killed me with that one.
But for me, I don't view it's appropriate. and this is one of those opportunities I'm going to take that you can edit or not. I don't care. Um, it was badass, but it was not appropriate. It's my favorite story, but not appropriate. Because, and here's the reason why I feel it. Um,
It's a side of Santa you just don't see.
it's a side of Santa I thoroughly agree with, though. The aspect of striking someone because they're assaulting your belief and trying to sway others in a leadership position means I have a line of pastors, and I'm going to end up with a very sore hand at the end of it. So it's down a path that is dangerous because you didn't let me hit that one guy that one time. So, I, what's the difference? Um, that's the aspect of why I know it's not appropriate and view it's not appropriate is because if that is appropriate, there's a whole lot of smacking that needs to happen because we've got a whole lot of people teaching a gospel that is not accurate. Um, so I mean that's my reasoning is because I mean my hand is strong, but um, there'll be a line. Could do a tour across America.
I thought you'd make it out of Tennessee with
Oh,
flesh still on your hand.
I'd make it out. I got some nice workout gloves. I've got some biker gloves. I've got
I
and
know where you'd start too.
plus I can back and front hand. So I mean, there's a lot. I can just go through and just. But that's my aspect is if we start assaulting everyone that is teaching an inaccurate gospel, um, we got some work to do. But I do love the fact that he did it. And if someone was in front of me and doing it, I mean, you had to hold me back once. But I don't view it as appropriate. But again, just like in the Will Smith application, just because it's inappropriate don't mean I wouldn't. And for anyone who's out there, there's a song called "Try Jesus," and you should listen to it because it's pretty much how I roll. Um,
All right. Two more things before we wrap up tonight, okay?
cool.
Number one, blank slate.
Do you want me to
Number one, if it's inappropriate, does that make it wrong?
And vice versa.
Right.
Just because it's appropriate doesn't make it right.
Or does inappropriate just make it cringy?
That's a good question.
Can still be right. And two, I've told Gerd, this is what we tell our kids, period. If you have to take physical action to protect someone who cannot protect themselves, i.e., there's a bully, they're bullying somebody at school, they're getting physical, the person can't defend themselves, and you take a swing at that bully, you're getting a steak dinner. And if the school suspends you, that is going to be the best however many days at home with no chores and being waited on hand and foot because you came to the defense of a defenseless person, someone who needed help, and you were there.
And in that, to me, that is an appropriate time. Sadly, both of our examples, it was not physical to physical, which is why I view it as inappropriate. But that, the defense of someone, is wholly justifiable. Coming to the defense of weaker is one of the things we are supposed to do as people who, follow what we believe. We're supposed to help exalt them.
The church
Yeah.
is supposed to be at the work of feeding the hungry, taking care of the orphan and the widow, caring for the sick and elderly. You know, it's a lot of current Western church has just become an echo chamber of we're right, they're wrong. Let's get as many people in here to convince them to become right as we are. Not everyone has lost sight of what we're supposed to be doing, and not every church has lost sight. But overwhelmingly, there is a large amount of congregations that have lost sight of what we're doing. What's the point? What's the purpose? You know? But I still love the verse in, I can't remember, Joel, I think it is. Don't just say, be fed and stay warm.
Yeah.
Also give them food and a coat. You know? And I think we've gotten a lot lately of lip service where we're telling the world, be at peace, stay fed, stay warm, stay safe, and then doing nothing to feed them, nothing to clothe them, nothing to keep them safe. And we, as a culture, should be making strides to changing that.
Mm-hmm. And that we can agree on.
Yeah, that we can agree on. Do you have any last thoughts, Pastor Nooms?
No. I think we covered them all.
All right. Okay, so today is April 3rd?
Mm-hmm.
April 3rd. June 5th, we will be at Dallas Pride. If you want to come up and see us at our booth, we're going to be giving out free hugs, which is what we've done in the past. And we're going to have some merch that you can pick up and then come and talk to us and help us love on folks. If you're a believer and you want to come help us love on folks, that's what we're going to be doing, is letting people know that we love them and that God loves them. And yeah, that's about all we're going to be doing there is just loving on folks, because that's step one. That's step one of the gospel, is love. And you know, there's been enough in the culture of hate and judgment and pain, and the world's hard enough. Let's get out there and love on some folks. So join us for that, and I will try to get enough, you know, as much video as I can about that. Maybe we'll even try.
Oh, your voice is gone. No one can hear you. I don't know what happened. Your voice is gone. You're completely gone.
What about now? Can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you. Yeah.
I don't know why it happened, but it happened.
Right in the wrap up.
Yeah, right in the wrap up. That was interesting. At least we made it to the wrap up before we started getting weird things happening.
Yeah, we knew it was going to happen. Yeah. All right, try again. You're trying to get video.
Right, and we'll try to get some video. Maybe we'll go live, just like with a little cell phone or something. It won't be like some official,
right?
Anything real fancy or anything. Just to touch it. And so yeah, so we got that coming up. This podcast comes out every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, except for this last week because I had guests in town and I didn't process it till Thursday morning and then pushed it live. Right? But normally it comes out on Wednesdays at 7. We record this podcast on Sunday evenings at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you wanted to come and join us, you can participate in the chat. You've heard us saying things like, Bat Brain says, that's what I said. Kinda. Well, that's one of the comments I didn't read earlier, but she said that. And then, so you can join us on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. And as you type your responses, questions, whatever, it shows up in front of us on our screens, and then we can reply live in the video or on the chat. We really like it when people do that and come. And if it kind of pulls the conversation in a different direction than we thought we were supposed to go, then perhaps that's where the conversation was actually supposed to go.
Perhaps.
We're okay with that. The Holy Spirit has full authority to hijack our service, our podcast, or whatever, and take it a different direction that he wants it to go in. That's perfectly fine with us. We're not prideful, and we can just do the things that we were going to do this episode, the next episode. If the Holy Spirit wants to do something different this episode, that's not a big deal. So, come join us. We'd love that.
Yes.
Check out the podcast on Wednesday nights. Give it a like, give it a follow, give it a share. Go make some comments. That helps it show up for more people who might need faith, hope, and love. We should be doing some gaming with the pastor stuff coming up pretty soon.
We should
you can
this
help
week.
us out with that. We're trying to get our Twitch viewership up, consistent Twitch viewership. So go over to Pastor Nooms on Twitch and give it a follow, so that when we go live, it shows up. And then come and watch, consistent watch, so that we can take our account to the next level to be able to draw more people in to our friendship evangelism outreaches, to spread the gospel to more people that way. So I hope you guys have a great week. I love you. Yeah.
Stay safe out there, y'all.
See, that's his thing.
It is my
Just
thing.
stay safe.
Just stay safe.
And until next time.
And now
It's
for
getting
the
hot in
people.
here, man.
Now for the people that are here still, because you're live, we gotta do this thing that
we're live.
buffers the stuff.
Some things cut it off. Ooh, a 30-second buffer. 30-second buffer. 30-second buffer. Has it been 30 seconds yet?
No.
Nope. That's not how time works.
No.
30-second buffer.
30-second buffer. 30-second buffer.
All right.
All right. I'll
That's
push the
enough.
button.
You can turn it off now.
Goodbye.